Stock markets across the world are selling off in response to Russia's attack on Ukraine. NBC News senior business analyst Stephanie Ruhle joins us now. Stephanie, great to have you with us to talk through this. I mean, walk us through what we're seeing in financial markets across the world this morning. It's been on a roller coaster since we've been watching this unfold, but how bad could the selling get today?
Not good. Now, one thing I would say, since World War II, when we look at major events, yes, you end up seeing the stock market in the short term get hit hard, but in the long term, there hasn't been a huge impact. Now, right now, it certainly hurts. Overnight, we saw Asia markets, European markets down, futures markets here in the U.S. also pointing down as well. This is a huge disruption. The biggest place people are concerned right now is the price of oil. We know that the price of Brent crude overnight went above $100 a barrel. That's got Americans hugely concerned. It's also a big political risk for the president. We heard President Biden 2 nights ago talk about this. Jen Psaki talked about it last night, that the president will do everything he can because he's sensitive to what we're paying at the pump. Sensitive, but what can he do? Right now, the average price of gas is $3.50 a gallon. It could go as high as $4 a gallon. That is not good news for the American consumer, who's already concerned about the price of nearly everything. And today they're looking at their 401k and they're worried.
Some people are worried about financial markets. I think everyone is worried about oil and gas prices. I mean, do we get a feeling how high could the price of oil get, and just how harsh could the impact be on the stock market as a whole?
Well, listen, the stock market as a whole is a reflection of the global economy. And the thing you have to think about beyond just oil is the supply chain. Remember, we're living in an inflationary environment. And while Russia is not a huge trading partner for us, they're a huge exporter of wheat. They're a huge exporter of corn, as is the Ukraine. And so things like that are going to push grocery prices up. So you're now going to face gas prices being up, grocery prices being up. And when the supply chain gets disrupted, because now you've got an international conflict, that's only going to worsen things. Remember, it's those supply chain kinks, the difficult time we've had getting things on the shelves. It's only going to worsen that, and that pushes prices higher. And that's not good for the American consumer, especially the more economically vulnerable one. People who are middle or higher income don't like higher prices, but we can afford it. People who are lower income, this is really difficult. They don't have COVID savings.
Yeah. Stephanie, last quick one before we let you go. We've seen the consequence for here Russia really be these economic sanctions handed down by the U.S., handed down by Europe. How much of that factors into what's going to play out on the world markets? And then, of course, the Russian economy moving forward. What does that mean for all of us?
Listen, it's a problem for us in that we are not in a position where we want to see our economic recovery slow down, and it could likely do that. When we get headlines like this, right, you've got the American people suddenly saying, maybe I'm not going to take that trip. Maybe I'm not going to buy that car. And when we stop spending, when consumer spending goes down, that hurts our economic recovery. Here's one of the issues, though, about Russia sanctions. Vladimir Putin does not care if the Russian people suffer economically. He's a multi-billionaire. And while we're saying, oh, they're going to go after the Russian oligarchs, you know what the Russian oligarchs don't have? Their money sitting in big banks that can be seized. They know how to hide their assets. They won't necessarily be impacted. Vladimir Putin won't be impacted, and he doesn't care if the Russian people suffer.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.